Lead magnets. What, why, and how. So I'm going to break this down into what a lead magnet is, why it matters, and how to design one, as we say, step by step. It's really just a free resource, something that you can give away in exchange for someone's email. This could be a checklist, a quick video lesson, webinar, etc., whatever kind of fits your specific audience. The key is you want it to solve a specific issue or help your ideal clients make progress. So it's not like your full program offering or anything like that. It's just something helpful that builds trust and opens the door deeper for people to consider working with you. An example might be 3 tips to help your dog feel safe when guests visit. This is a lead magnet that a trainer might have of working with anxious, fearful, distrusting dogs with guests. This would address the specific problem, dogs anxious with visitors and people feeling unsure or that their guests or visitors' safety is at risk. So there could be a lot of perceived value if they download that guide and it can help their dog make some progress with guests. I literally made a training like this on 3 tips to do so, and they're really simple tips that would help milder cases. And then, for example, I had a call to action at the end of it that if you feel like you need more specific advice or if you've tried some of these techniques, feel free to reach out to me to find out how we can offer you more specific insight. So that's kind of an example. Why it matters for pet businesses, the lead magnet that is. It starts the process of you owning your own audience, gathering emails that you can control because social media followers might vanish or platforms change, as I've mentioned with other trainings. But this helps you keep a connection with your existing inquiries/clients that no one else controls but yourself. Lead magnets can also build trust and authority because when someone downloads it and they use it and they're like, oh, this actually works pretty good. Or you help them see things from a different lens that they didn't see before. For instance, here's a 5-step guide on choosing the right doggy daycare for your dog's needs, or a 5-step guide on choosing the right boarding facility to ensure your dog's enjoyment while you're away. That builds trust, but also brings awareness and helps them look through a different lens of, oh, I never considered that some boarding facilities only keep the dog in one area and that's where they live and poop and pee and they don't even go outside. And so you could shed some light, which are benefits of how you operate your program and help them understand that, hey, this is how we do it and this is how we recommend other facilities do it. Whether they do or not, that's their choice, but find a place that does A, B, and C. What lead magnets also do is they create future income opportunities because you now have a list and a way to contact these people in the future should they not hire you right at that moment. It also allows you to stay connected with those people that aren't ready to buy today because there's something called a nurture cycle in marketing, and it's the time where someone becomes aware of you versus the time it takes for them to purchase from you. And depending on your industry, the nurture cycle can be short or it can be longer. So for example, a trainer's nurture cycle is typically a little bit longer than a groomer's nurture cycle for training versus grooming clients. And I won't get into the nuances as to why, but for example, someone downloading a training guide on how to reduce the frequency and intensity of your dog jumping up on you and your guests, you might help them solve that minor problem, but you're going to be top of mind in the future when they have a bigger problem that they want them help with, because you're going to stick out in their mind as someone who is helpful, who provides value without asking for really anything in return. And they're going to feel a bit more comfortable to reach out to you compared to just like any person that they might find on an internet search. So there's that. Now, the next piece is the how. This is where the rubber meets the road, if you will. I'll explain this through a little bit of a screen share and explanation in a brief moment. How to design your lead magnet. So try not to overthink it. And obviously, I can help you with this on calls and whatnot if you let me know and reach out to me. But the first thing we'll want to think about is how to choose your ideal audience and what their problem is. So whether you're a groomer, daycare, whatever, whoever you are, the first thing you'd want to do is pick your audience. So I'm just going to do trainers because that's an example that's in my head right now. Who's my ideal audience? It's people with, let's say, anxious dogs towards other people. So that's my particular avatar that I would like to work towards. If you really only want to have one lead magnet on a website, so make it directed towards the clients that you want the most of, or a service that you want to fill out the most. So, for example, if you have a bunch of different services, but you really want to attract puppies, for example, well, I'm not going to have this people anxious towards dogs guide. I'm going to, for example, on my brick and mortar business, No Dog Left Behind, the first thing that people land on my page is they can actually get access to a copy of my book, A Human's Guide to Surviving Puppyhood. So that's a bit of an option. Anyways, so your ideal audience and their problem. My ideal audience is people with anxious dogs. The problem is safe introductions, safe or confident, lack of confidence intros with people. So just write that there. Define the quick win your lead magnet provides. So this is a brainstorming session right here. So don't overthink it. So what would my quick win provide? A safe introduction. But it's a step-by-step process, but it also encourages process. I'm not going to write encourages, but trust. So obviously, I would explain this more in my marketing, but for simplicity of brainstorming, the quick win is it's going to provide a safe introduction. It's going to build trust for the dog, and we're going to build confidence in the family because now they don't have to fear potentially any safety concerns or less. Anyways, choose the format. What this specifically means is how are you going to get it to them? What's the format of the lead magnet? I might sneeze. Audio recording, whatever you want. Could be a combination of a video and a PDF. There's nothing limiting what you do. You just have to be mindful that how are you going to get this in the hands of your person? So typically we're doing the lead magnet and we're trading the lead magnet for an email. So we'd want this thing to be able to be delivered via email. So for example, they sign up for my list, automatically they get emailed a PDF version of 3 steps to introducing your dog safely, who's unsure of guests, that particular guide. Create the content seems pretty direct. So we're going to have to outline what it's going to be about just for yourself for the content creation outline, and then record/write it, and then potentially add any infographics or cover or that kind of stuff. So it looks pretty or nice. So create the content itself. Now, building the landing opt-in page and delivery system. This is where it gets a little more techy. So if you're not technologically inclined, then you're going to probably need some help. But for example, for me, I don't have to create a landing page. I'm going to just add the opt-in, it's called an opt-in, to my website. And then what I'd also have to do is set up an audience in MailChimp, which is an automated email provider. And then I'd have to create the email that gets sent from MailChimp to the person, create the email that gets sent. And then lastly, I have to integrate. And it's really actually quite simple to do this if you know what you're doing, and I can help with that. Integrate my website, which is Squarespace. I'm just going to say Squarespace with MailChimp. This is the hardest part of the process if you've never done it before. But if you've done it, it's pretty simple once you know what to do. Lastly, promote and optimize. You might not have to promote it very much. It's just like adding it to your website. If it's on your website, it's going to be cooking there by itself regardless. Naturally, you can pay for an ad anywhere. Obviously, it has to be a digital ad so that they can click through the links and join your email list. So there's more things on the back end to make that work. But another option is actually having a QR code on, for instance, a business card or a trifold or some kind of physical pamphlet that you provide someone else in the pet industry, like a veterinarian, where it's like, scan this QR code to download my 3-step guide to safe introductions to guests, something like that. So there's lots of different ways we can promote and optimize. This is the simplest way being add it to your website and just stay there for now. Naturally, we can do a ton more with it, but not worth diving into in this very moment. So this is a broken down, simplified version on how you can go from thought to building this lead magnet that you add to your website. Biggest thing I would tell you though is make sure that the lead magnet itself actually matters to the person. Because if you talk about something ambiguous, hey, this is how download my 5-step guide to learn clicker training, that's not necessarily going to be super valuable to the masses that are visiting your website because they might not understand the benefits of what clicker training might actually do. So, what we want to talk about is not a concept, but rather a problem. So, the problem being pulling on leash, the problem being counter surfing, the problem being making sure you raise your puppy right, the problem being fear, anxiety, distrust with guests, problem, and how you can solve it by them downloading your lead magnet with the end of the lead magnet having some information about, hey, if you need additional support or you've already tried some of these methods and you didn't get the results you want, feel free to reply to this email or text us at XYZ number to see if we might have some other options to help you. So that's how you can still have a call to action to your services within a lead magnet. So I could do an entire training on creating the actual content of the lead magnet, but I wanted to get this into your hands first because there's so many different directions I could go with lead magnet content creation. And I'll probably just do that a little bit more one-on-one when the time happens. So hopefully you got a lot out of this. Feel free to answer any questions, ask any questions, and I'll answer them rather. Have a nice day.